Aston Villa 3, Brighton 0. I'm going to give you my thoughts on Aston Villa as a Manchester United fan and what I saw from that game. And I will say, I do think Brighton had some chances, and I do think it was a lot closer than the scoreline suggests. But I do think Villa were good. They deserved to win. And what Villa had was that quality in the final third. They brought Malen in, they brought Asensio in, they brought Rashford in, the 3 goal scorers today. It shows what having a good January window can do because, they had the quality players on the pitch that could put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what made the big difference. And as a Manchester United fan, I'm so happy to see Rashford scoring and playing well. I'm one of the Man United fans that loves Rashford, adores Rashford, didn't want him to go, was so annoyed with this Amarin situation. And when I watched Manchester United yesterday, unable to score again, Garnacho cannot put the ball in the back of the net, and how wasteful he is, and the lack of quality we've got in attack, and knowing what Rashford can do when in form. And I know he was out of form at United. It's so frustrating because every time I watch Rashford play for Villa, I'm like, I want him at United. I want him back, and he's obviously not going to come back because he's fallen out with the manager. But he's not even a striker. Marcus Rashford is so much better on the wing. I will tell you that now. But scored again today. Scored again versus Preston. Really good performances, and it's just like it hurts as a United fan. I wish we had him. I wish we had him back. Like I love Rashford. I didn't want him to go, and I understood he had to go because of the manager and this and that. But we have Xerxes, we have Højlund, and we have Garnacho. I just wish we had Rashford. Asensio's obviously been really good, but I'm going to say this: Konsa underrated. Kamara has obviously been a really underrated player for Villa. Tielemans has had an unbelievable season, quite underrated, but I think Konsa is having one of the most underrated seasons in the Premier League this year. He doesn't get spoken about enough. He really doesn't. I think he deserves to start for England. John Stones has passed it. He can't stay fit. Maguire's passed it. He's the guy. If I'm thinking England partnership, it's Gay and Konsa. If I'm thinking long term. But I'm still just a United fan. I don't watch every Villa game, but I've watched Villa a bit more recently, and I think you've been better recently. I feel like you're sort of going up in form, which is the right time of the season to go up in form. 7th place, teams around you dropping points, could push for Europe. But I think Konsa has been really, really good lately and really, really underrated. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on Aston Villa 3, Brighton 0. So let's dive into it. And also, penalty and Ramsey. How was that not a penalty? Let's go into it. So first of all, I think Villa are in decent form. We're getting a lot of clean sheets, as you can see here. And I think this is the right time for Villa to pick up form. I think last season you started better, but then sort of at the end you were grinding out and tired. I think having a break, quite a bit of a break. I think you almost had 3 weeks off as well. Definitely puts you in a better position as well. But Villa looking good, looking confident, and I think obviously the additions in the January window help. So yeah, because you've got a big game versus PSG coming up. You are now 7th in the league above Brighton. Brighton were in some really good form before this game as well, so very good win for Villa. Chelsea not in the best of form, but right now 7th gets you in the Europa League. Fulham, Bournemouth dropping off. I think Villa have the extra quality over Brighton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford. I think Newcastle got a bit more quality than them. Chelsea, you'd expect them with the money they spent to finish above Villa, but I think Villa could push the top 6. I think Champions League would be a bit of a push, but I think Villa could definitely be in the Europa League next season, which is a very good competition to be in because, one, I think you have a strong chance of winning the Europa League, but two, if you win the Europa League in the Champions League the following season. So here's my thoughts. 7th secures Europa League right now. With the way you're playing, I think you'll finish top 7. I think the only way you don't get Europa League is if a team that doesn't qualify for the Europa League wins the FA Cup, then I think you get pushed down one. It's a conference. But yeah, Brighton were in good form before this game, and a 3-0 was a statement win. I don't think it was a 3-0 win. I think it was more Villa took their chances better and were more devastating on the counter, and Marcus Rashford goal, cash money Rashford. But I think Villa are definitely hitting form, hitting confidence. When the goal scorers Asensio and Rashford are making the impact they are, and they can have Asensio on the bench some games and Rashford on the bench some games. This depth is so important, especially in the latter stages of the season where the tiredness comes through. This is the final stretch, and this is the best time to be on it. But yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how that wasn't a penalty in Ramsey. That was one of the most clear penalties. The officials have had a stinker today. I think, Tarkowski should have been sent off for Everton. That should have been a penalty, classic things. And when Arsenal fans always go, it's corrupt. The Premier League are against us, it's corrupt. It's like, no, the Premier League isn't against Arsenal. If you watch teams that aren't just your own team, like me, I watched like 3 games today at once, but like I didn't watch every single second of the Villa game because I was watching the Liverpool game for a bit, the Newcastle game for a bit. I was switching between the games while I had all 3 up on different screens. But I watch a lot of football and the referees are just crap. Like, it's not they're against Arsenal. It's not that they're against Liverpool, they're just crap for everyone. Like, that's just the thing of it. That is just the truth of the matter. So here was my thoughts on Aston Villa. Brilliant, well-taken goals on the counter, showing Villa's efficiency in the final third. I thought Morgan Rogers had some excellent passes and created dangers consistently. He wasn't as involved in the game as I've seen Morgan Rogers be involved in games, but he was very much a danger man. And he's the kind of guy that can get the goal, that can get the assist, can make things happen, and that's how you win games. All three attacking signings scored: Malen, Asensio, and that's it, Rogers. Rashford, that's me, that's human error, highlighting the importance of a strong January window. First goal for Malen will be huge confidence, and a really good and well taken goal from Malen. Asensio scores again and also gets an assist again. Very good finish, clinical. The fact he started off the bench shows the depth. But Asensio and Rashford, they're going to be key. If you're going to beat PSG, which is possible, but PSG are definitely the favourites, I think the best way to get PSG is on the break. PSG are vulnerable defensively. They're very good in attack. You've got to defend well against PSG, but it is a Rashford on the break. Rashford loves to go against PSG. He's done it away in Paris many occasions. I will tell you that's a United fan. Asensio, big game player, won Champions Leagues. They're the guys. And that's 3 goals in 2 games for Rashford, plus the previous assists he's got before that. He's been creative. He's in confidence. As a Manchester United fan, when Rashford's in form, he is honestly like one of the best players in the world. When Rashford is in form, when Rashford's head's in the right place, when Rashford is confident, he's one of the best players in the world. He's quick, he takes on his man, he can create, he can score, his output is class. I love Rashford. A lot of Man United fans turned on Rashford. They started calling him the problem. They started blaming him, and it really frustrated me because I'm thinking, why, when things go wrong at Man United, are we blaming Bruno? Are we blaming Rashford when they're our 2 best players? I know Rashford had dropped off in form, but Rashford and Bruno have been our 2 best players, and everyone would turn on them if things go wrong. And he was overhated by United, even if he hadn't been good enough. And people would criticise him for body language and just go over the top with the Rashford hate. I'm glad that he's doing well at Villa, but also getting the love because he deserves a lot more love. He was way over criticised, body language, attacked for the smallest things that he would do. He would have a good game, but if he didn't trap back once, someone would highlight it, and it's actually he did trap back, but then trying to make it look like he didn't trap back because people don't like Rashford online, which I don't understand. Look, defense was really good as well. Chelsea's conceded, of course, but Ezri Konsa have been a monster. Apparently, this was a stat I read online. 1 goal conceded in the last 8 games, including 2 with England. 6 straight clean sheets. What a player, Ezri Konsa. One of the most underrated players in the league. And I'm saying this as a United fan. I think he's honestly been top 5 centre-backs in the league this season. I did my top 3 players in each position, but if I did the top 5, I think Konsa would have been in there. I just felt I had to put a Forest player in there because of the clean sheets they've got, whereas Villa haven't caught those numbers quite at the back yet. But Konsa's been unbelievable. Kamara, I thought had a really good game, very underrated player. I think now he's back from injury is a big boost. And I just think, the defensive improvement from Villa is being shown. In terms of other notes on the game, Villa's bench strength is improving. Asensio coming off the bench is good. Kamara and Tielemans, top quality midfielders. We've known that for a while. And even though Villa, I don't think we're at their best today, and I still think they're still not at their very best, the quality in the final third, as I said earlier, made the difference. And when you got this kind of player, this is ridiculous. 2 goals versus Chelsea, 2 goals versus Cardiff, a goal versus Bruges, 2 goals in the second leg versus Bruges, a goal and assist versus Brighton. 9 involvements in 7 games for Asensio. Marcus Rashford also having a lot of involvement as well. Those 2 players, I'm assuming Villa will be doing what they can to keep them next season, but what absolute quality. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Bye.